Hello, YouTube. Hello to all of my followers, my avid, loyal troops on here. Before I get to the title of this video, first thing I need to reiterate something that I've been telling you brothers for the past several days. Now, many of you should know this because we've been over this time and time and time again. Okay? We black men here are at war. We are not at war with women. We are at war with psychologically damaged and demented degenerates, whether they be male or female. But as we know, a majority of them are female. Now, let me first take this time out to thank those of you brothers who were on last night here and on my main channel on the alternate platform. And let me take a time out to make special thanks to you brothers who emailed me and alerted me to the psychosia that was going on elsewhere here on FoolTube. And let me follow that up by saying this. There are many of you brothers who I've known since our crusades back last year, shortly after the black feminists did what they did in March of 2017. Most of you brothers that have stuck with me this long are pretty much hardcore. And I appreciate the fact that just like in that video, just like in that movie with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, there are still yet a few good men who exist. However, I gotta say, I'm just gonna be straight with y'all. Just like I made that video, calling out black men who deify and worship, a lot of these feminist-minded white females, and somehow think that they're the better option if they've been infected with this, anti-masculine, pro-matriarchal ideology. That some of you brothers are dropping the ball. Some of you brothers, not all of you, not even most of you, but some of you are dropping the ball. Okay? I sent you guys messages in the war room yesterday. And y'all should know what the war room is. If you don't know what the war room is, okay, send me an email. And if I recognize the email, I will most certainly send you the link. All right? I tried to contact you brothers, and I only got 2 or 3 responses back. Okay? This is serious stuff that we're dealing with here, because it's clear-cut obvious that we are dealing with demented, degenerate, lost souls that are trying to make it their business to try and make us as miserable as they are. Okay? So when I message you brothers, I'm not talking about people who just signed up here, just subscribed. I'm talking about brothers that have been with me since day one. I want you guys to go and read your emails. Okay? I was in the war room yesterday and I messaged all of you brothers, all of my close-knit little, military platoon group that we've been together since last year, since the beginning of our retribution crusades. And I only got 2 or 3 responses back from you brothers, which means that a majority of the brothers that I messaged either are not reading their emails or simply have a short attention span to what the fuck is going on here on social media in video sharing land. Okay? When I send you guys a message, I'm not going to send you a message over, some dumb shit, like, Nicki Minaj sex tape or some crap like that. When I'm sending you guys a message, it is specifically regarding the war effort. Okay? This is an ongoing effort that is going to continue because the sick individuals that we are dealing with are allowed to operate in spite of their mental impotency with impunity by the powers that be, because the powers that be do not really care. They actually get a kick out of seeing black people look and act insane and fuck with each other. But for those of us on our end, we have to do what we have to do to put our enemies in their place and make sure that they stay behind that cage by any means necessary, as Mr. Malcolm X would say. So with that being said, I'm telling you brothers right now, okay? I'm telling you right now, I'm going to send you another message in the war room, okay? I'm going to forward the same message I sent last night. And for anybody else that's interested in joining up, send me your email and I'll send you a link. But we've proven time and time again, we really don't need a big army. All we need is, yet again, a few good men. But those good men have to be paying attention, okay? When the battle plan is put together and we execute the strategy that has been implemented, all right? It is never going to end with these sick individuals, okay? Because, of course, they are sick. They're equivalent to, a monkey throwing a piece of shit at somebody through a cage. They cannot intelligently rationalize thought with logic and reasoning. It is impossible to get through to these people. So the only thing we can do is what the U.S. military does to the enemies of this country. Virtually carpet bomb, nuke, and cruise missile enemy combatants until they're all incinerated. In so many words, obviously I'm not talking literally, okay? So once again, I'm going to send you brothers another email to the war room. This ain't got nothing to do, and I know, you brothers that are, members of the war room, the elite war room, y'all brothers know that, I'm not on no shit like this. But in case you didn't, I'm not trying to, shout orders at you, like I'm your boss or anything. I'm just trying to tell you, all right, I am looking for assistance regarding a specific issue that needs to be nipped in the bud very, very quickly. And that's why I go to the war room and I message you guys. So what's going to start happening over a course of time is, if I'm sending you guys out messages and you're not at least, you're not at the very least letting me know that, you received the message and that, you're a willing participant in, the request of the message, then I'm just gonna remove you from the membership, and I'm just gonna stop, I'm gonna stop messaging you, and just gonna kick you out of the war room, because we need troops that are gonna be at the ready, stand at the ready, attend hut. As I told y'all last year, attend hut whenever it's time to mobilize. We have to be able to mobilize, and we have to be able to launch effective counterstrikes against the enemy combatants that want to try to destroy us. All right? We have to send a clear-cut message, because these enemy combatants, they're so sick, they're like infectious bacteria. Okay, you get antibiotics, you knock the infection down, but then there are bacteria that go dormant and they survive that antibiotic attack. They lay dormant until the medication wears off and they come back and they multiply. All right, we have to send a clear message that we're going to keep knocking down our enemy combatants. All right, as long as they want to play, we're going to play harder. All right. Now, this is an issue that I shouldn't even have to talk about. But if you don't want to be a part of the war room, okay, please get out of the war room. All right. Let me know, stop sending me messages and I'll stop sending you messages. Okay. I'll completely delete your email. I'm not saying this scolding y'all. I'm just saying this because this is, serious shit that we're dealing with here. All right. So, with all that being said, on to the topic of this video. Now, I can't put the links to where I'm going to tell you guys to go here. But if you email me, or if you already have my email, and for those of you who are loyal subscribers and again loyal viewers and supporters of my content, you should know automatically where to go. Where I'm going to tell you to go is to this. There are two videos. Okay. The first video that I'm going to send you guys to is a video of a particular female that she has made it clear that on no certain terms is she sane or is she going to try to be rational. Okay? She has made it clear that something is unstable. Something is, knocking about inside of her engine. You know how when you take your car, you hear that rattling inside of the engine, and you take it to the mechanic, and he says, "Oh, you got a thrown rod. You got ball bearings all over the place. Something is wrong inside of the engine or the transmission of this vehicle, and you're gonna need a new engine." I am thoroughly convinced that there are people here on YouTube that need a brain transplant. And while, we know heart transplants, liver transplants, bone marrow transplants, kidney transplants, stuff of that nature. I think they've even started doing open hand transplants. Things of that nature are possible. Medical science has not yet evolved to where they can disconnect someone's brain and give them a new brain. Well, so I'm just going to be real with you. There are people that are walking around, that are operating amongst us, that literally have broken minds. Something is seriously wrong on the inside of that brain. Even if they put it under CAT scan, okay, and they examine it, and from a physiological standpoint, the formation of the brain, everything looks normal. There is something ticking and tattering on the inside of that brain that is defective. Meaning these people need to take that shit back to God and get a refund. I mean, there's just no other way. When people think of crazy people, they usually think of, some crazy motherfucker walking down the street, smelling like piss in rags, in some major city, talking to theyself and jumping and arguing with theyself and shit. But I've said this, and many other content creators have made amends to this, that there are functioning psychopaths in this world, meaning they can hold down a job or what they consider to be a job. They can drive a car, they can fill out paperwork, but when they get behind closed doors where they think nobody is looking, they exhibit traits and they exhibit actions of a person who clearly is missing a cylinder or two. Now, in this first video that I'm going to send you guys to, and again, if you don't know where to go, you can ask some of the brothers that you see in my comment section that frequent my comment section, because they're usually regulars. You can ask them where to go, and I would ask those brothers to send them private messages of where to go. Or you can, drop your email, or the best thing to do really would be to private message me here on YouTube, because I want everybody to go and see this. I want everybody to go and see this, because I made a video a couple of days ago. I made several videos, actually, both directly and indirectly, tackling this issue of this new age. Well, not really a new age of black female trolls, but this new tactic that these black female trolls are using to try to shame black men. When they say that black men need to stop, quote unquote, bashing black women on YouTube, and they need to go and build something. Now, I've gone back and forth with several black females on several of my videos over the course of the last few days. And, I've been arguing with them and simps, blocking and deleting motherfuckers left and right. It's just been a huge mess. Okay. And so, the one thing you come to understand when you finish watching this video, or really in the first 2 or 3 minutes, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. When I talk about the disingenuousness of these black females to tell black men to build something, because you got to remember now, while most of them do not openly speak like the female you're going to see in that video, most of them openly think. Behind closed doors, think like she does. In this video, you have a demented female who, like I said, has made it clear over the course of the last few years that she's not firing on all 4 cylinders. There's some cylinders that are clearly misfiring, and, they need to do a engine recall on that particular product, between her ears. She is up here rationalizing being a prostitute, which, of course, as we know in the United States of America, is illegal, let alone nonetheless immoral. She is rationalizing to other black women, suggesting to other black women how they can be a proper whore. In the opening salvo, in the opening commentary of her message, she says, and I shared this with David Carroll and Akwesi, because it really boggles the mind how females like this could be supported by people who want to come to me. They're not going to these degenerates that are out here, selling dope and assaulting these females and killing their ex-girlfriends and making these whack-ass rap music videos. They're not going to them. They know better than to go to them. They're not going attacking and fucking with them. They're coming and attacking and fucking with black men on YouTube. Rational thinking, logically reasoning black men like myself here on YouTube that are simply merely stating our opinions and providing factual, visual, audible evidence, like this video that y'all gonna see, to back up and support our claims, to use as a point of reference when people like me try to remind black men and warn black men and notify black men of why they need to clock out, if they haven't already, and divest from Whoristan. Okay? It is not Blackistan like the girl who swirls calls it. It is Whoristan. Because it is females like that you will see in this video that are birthing the majority of black children and that are misraising the majority of black children and make up the majority percentage of the demographic of the black American female in this country under the age of 40. Now, I've been over this before. We're not talking about black women, the Ida B. Wells, the Maya Angelou's, the Coretta Scott Kings. We're not talking about women from our grandmother's generation, okay? We're talking about women from the last couple of generations, especially Generation X, and in this case, X-rated, that are raising children. These women are clearly mentally ill. Okay, there's just there's so much evidence out there. This isn't the only video that I could show you. There's just so much evidence out there that I could show you to prove my point, to hammer this shit home. I mean, for crying out loud, the shooting in Crown Point, Brooklyn, New York, just the other day, that is making a buzz on the news right now, and the way Negroes are trying to rationalize what that Negro did before the police shot him is a prime example of that shit. I guarantee you, if you look at that Negro, and we're going to get into this in my next video, but if you look at that Negro that did what he did in Crown Point, Brooklyn, or wherever, Crown Heights or whatever, you will clearly see the exact type of degenerate black male that has been raised and reared by females like the one I'm telling you about in this video. The frightening part is that a majority of black children, it'd be one thing if, there was a father figure, or even a grandmother, or somebody there to kind of offset, to kind of absorb, or to kind of expose these children to a different way of thinking and reasoning and living. But 99% of the time, these children are stuck observing and being I won't even call it affected, but infected by females like the one I'm telling y'all about in this video. This female is not only justifying prostitution, she's telling black women how to become better whores. Now you have to think of the demented, psychologically distraught, brain damaged mentality of someone who lacks any skill set, any talent, besides putting the members of someone else's private parts in their mouth and publicly, see, that's what knocks it out. That's the home run. That's the Sammy Sosa home run. That's what knocks it out the park right there. It's one thing if you do this behind closed doors and keep it private, keep it to yourself. Don't nobody got to know how you make your money, just like don't nobody know how I make my money. You're letting the world know that you do this, and you're proud that you do it, and you're rationalizing it, and you're justifying it, and then you're giving advice to other women of your demographic. Like that porn whore Naomi Banks, when she was talking about how she wanted black women to be better represented. Y'all remember that video from way back I did? Most of y'all won't, but there's this porn whore called Naomi Banks. And she was doing an interview, and she was talking about how she thinks there's a underrepresentation of black women in the porn industry, and how she wants there to be a more positive representation of black women. Like she's some type of fucking NAACP civil rights spokesperson. I'm like, are you serious? A larger representation of whores in a porn industry? You want a larger but once again, this is what happens when a civilized society does nothing to offset issues arising from the mentally unfit that exist among the masses of civilized human beings, okay, in a so-called modernized environment and community. See, it used to be 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, if you start talking crazy and acting crazy, they contact your family and they come take your ass and they lock your ass up. Not in jail or prison. They put you in an institution known as a insane asylum by some and a mental ward by others. And they confine you there and make you swallow, pills for certain medications that control psychosis. And they would keep you there until or unless they were certain that, your brain was stabilizing, because it was understood that you needed help. Okay? Something is just not right. And we can't have you out here amongst normal thinking, civilized human beings, because you may be a danger to someone else or even yourself. So we have to take you somewhere, take you out of sight, and get you hooked up somewhere where you can get help. Nowadays, and several people have spoken about this, not the least of which is this psychologist by the name of Dr. Park Dietz. I saw him he did an interview in a documentary that talked about the McDonald's massacre, where this crazy white guy, he told his wife that he was going to hunt humans back in the mid 80s, and he went to a McDonald's down the street and he walked in there and started mowing down customers and employees. And prior to that, he had actually called a mental health clinic the day before he went on the shooting rampage, and he told them that he needed a psychiatric evaluation. They put him on hold, but he got frustrated, waiting so long for them to pick up the phone. He hung up and gave up. And when, the news media went and they confronted the clinic about it, after the fact of he did what he did, they told him that the guy on the phone, they were going to get him somebody, but he didn't sound upset enough to get immediate help. Okay. Dr. Park Dietz, in that interview, he talked extensively about how mental health, like the budget for healthcare in this country has seriously undercut programs that help people with mental health. When I started this video, it was a little funny to me, but the more I go through this video, this shit is really kind of scary, it's kind of frightening, and it's actually kind of sad. Okay? There are people, functioning lunatics out here. Okay? Not all of them go off and shoot up the Las Vegas Strip or shoot up their high school, but there are functioning fucking lunatics out here. A majority of them don't become active shooters like that lady did at YouTube. A majority of them, they go through their life, doing what they got to do, but the problem is they're affecting and infecting others. And what you see in the black community, I've actually made videos about this, is you see a cesspool of mentally deranged individuals who have been birthed and raised by mentally deranged individuals. Okay? There's something wrong with females like the one I'm telling y'all about. There's something seriously going on in the inside. It's just knocking about. And what's sad is nobody is trying to help these people. In a lot of cases, they're using them for their own benefits and agendas, egging them on, knowing this person is mentally ill. There are a couple of people, and I observed this female because she has a social media page, There's a couple of people, there's a couple of females in her in her small circle of friends and supporters that are clearly bitter at black men, but they seem to be a little bit more logically thinking. As a matter of fact, one of them has Logic as their screen name. And I know because there's certain videos that they don't comment on from this female, that they know that something is wrong with this female. But because she is pushing a agenda that they want, because they have a certain bitterness inside of them, they're not speaking out, at least in private, talking to this female, telling her, you honey, you might not want to put that out there like that. I mean, do you really want people to know that about you? Or do you really want people to know that you think like that? I mean, look, we all got skeletons in the closet, okay? But most of us are not crazy enough to tell the entire world about those skeletons that are in the closet, okay? And then boast about it like it's something to be upheld as a badge of honor. When you see a person not only bragging about being a prostitute, but also giving harmful advice to other women on being a good prostitute, or as she said, a lot of y'all ain't hoeing right, there is something psychologically wrong there. And see, I'm gonna show you what I mean by when I say that a majority of black females are disingenuous, because in one of these videos that this demented female made that I didn't put up, there's a one other female that left a comment that she talked about her days being a Hooters girl, okay? And she talked about how one day some white guy handed her $400. And I wouldn't put it past that that's a true story, because you have a lot of weak-minded, pussy-starved simps out there that would they would sell their house for a piece of ass. Some guys are so stupid. It's just, you have different levels of stupid in every race, culture, color, creed, whatever. But the fact that she was trying to show her support in a video where a female was bragging about and giving advice on illegal prostitution by circumventing with, oh, well, I can relate to what you're saying. Yeah, I used to be a Hooters girl. When we know clearly that being a Hooters girl is on no comparison with being a stripper or a streetwalker, aka prostitute, okay? Or escort, or whatever you want to call them, all right? It became apparent to me that there are bitter black females, and then there are bitter, mentally ill black females. And the bitter black females, they can't accept accountability or take responsibility for anything that they do or say, they will egg on black females and black males, because we've seen it on multiple occasions. There have been black men on here fucking with other black men on the behest of, defending black women that, do everything from looking up addresses to where people live, to where their kids go to school, putting people's grandmother's addresses out there. And they do this on the behalf of black women who they think they're defending and who they think are standing up for them, when in fact these people really don't care about these mentally ill individuals, okay? They're just egging them on to serve their own agendas, all right? Like when this same female started talking crap about the deceased loved one of a brother here on YouTube, and you had a majority of black females and some simps that were egging her on, that was co-signing this. And these are the same females who claim that they're standing up for black women that are being bashed by black men. Yet this is a dead black female, a deceased black female that you're bashing just on the behest of getting at some Negro that you don't like? Once again, guys, I'm telling you, there is an underlying problem. And I've said this at least a dozen times. There is an underlying problem with mental illness in this country that we reside in today. And if this video does not prove to you of what I say, then you're probably mentally ill too. Talk to you later, guys.